Good morning. I am clearly not Patty Cleary. So this is my split personality today. I am Kurt Erickson. I'm not on the board. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation. We are a religious community who commit ourselves to diversity. We hope to nourish human differences, those of gender, race, age, ability, sexual orientation, political views, culture, class, and religious belief. I think we add a few more on there somewhere. Welcome to all who treasure freedom of consciousness in the search for truth. We promise to do our best to provide you a spiritual home. We extend a special welcome to our visitors today. We hope you follow our Facebook page. To participate in Zoom and receive announcements about special events and our religious exploration classes, please sign up for our weekly email. There should be a link in the comments section on our Facebook page where you can sign up. I'd like to draw your attention to recent announcements for those in person. They are printed in your order of service. There are links in the UUC newsletter and weekly UU connections for those watching online today. Thank you all for joining us in person or online.
I'm Pat Bonner with a message from your Harvest Auction Committee. I have good news and good news. And more good news. The good news is that the Harvest Auction is coming right up. The live event is November 12th. There's lots of wonderful items to bid in, like lodgings in Kauai and Italy, and some great Wisconsin getaways. There will be Bob's Handyman service, always a favorite, and lots more wonderful things. There's also lots of beautiful, fun, and useful items to bid on in the silent auction. The second good news is that you can view these things on the live auctions, on the auction site, sorry, not the live auction site, the online auction site, starting right now. It's not finalized. There are lots of mistakes. I can attest to that because I'm the one putting it in there. And there will be corrections, there will be additions. The live items have not been selected yet from the whole list, but there's plenty of viewing pleasure, browsing pleasure starting right now. The third good news is that we've extended the drop-off date for donations. The deadline was today. You get a whole nother week. So hopefully some of you have ideas that you haven't quite managed to get dropped off or fill out the donation forms for. So do that this week and drop them off either during the week or next Sunday. Thanks to everyone for their generous donations. Okay, so what's on your to-do list with respect to the Harvest Auction? May I suggest, if you have not done so yet, go to the website and buy a ticket for the online event. If you still have ideas for events or donation items, go to the online website and fill out those donation forms and get your items dropped off. We would love to have more things. Another thing you can do is if you are able to bring food or beverage or help out at the night of the auction, you need to sign up on a sign-up list. I would suggest that next Monday, tomorrow, when your UU Connections comes, you grab those, find those lists in there, the links to the lists in there, and sign yourself up for a dessert or a beverage, or maybe you can help out that night. And your last thing is to get ready to bid on things at the auction, either live things or on the online things. Don't miss this important event that contributes to the financial health of our community and builds us in togetherness through shared giving. Your donations and purchases are part of a cycle of giving that encircles us in community. Thank you.
Good morning once again. This time I am Kurt Erickson, your worship associate today. Unitarian Universalism draws from Judaism as one of the sources of wisdom in a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. Today we will search for inspiration from the high holy days of Judaism for self-examination and opportunities for growth and forgiveness. We will explore the courage of apology and forgiveness. These words are from Desmond Tutu. Forgiveness is nothing less than the way we heal the world. We heal the world by healing each and every one of our hearts. The process is simple, but it is not easy.
Hi, I am Beadle Sisum, and my pronouns are she, her, hers, and I will be lighting the chalice. So in unison, we'll say the words by Sarah Eileen Lawal. Out of the flames of fear, we rise with courage of our deepest convictions to stand for justice, inclusion, and peace. Out of the flames of hate, we rise with the force of love, love that celebrates our shared humanity. Now I don't know what to do. Do I put this in?
You can just blow it out. That's fine. There we go. Thanks. And now Miss Amy will be going downstairs with our religious exploration children, and you can find the words for singing down the children in our song, Go With Joy.
All right, now we all get to sing together again. People are invited to rise in body or spirit for Building Bridges number 1023, and I'm just going to explain what's going to happen and why I am here, because it's a round and rounds can be a little confusing. So once I see that more people are turned to page 1023, I'll start explaining the rules of the game. All right, so Julia is going to be playing the piano for us, which is going to help us stay in tune and lead us through. She's going to play it once through so we can all listen to what the melody sounds like, what the chords are. Then we're going to sing it once through all together. And then this half of the sanctuary is going to be group 1, and this half of the sanctuary is going to be group 2. And so when we split into rounds, I cannot sing 2 parts simultaneously. So I will keep singing with group 1, and I'll try to nod at group 2 when it's your chance to come in. And I know there are tons of singers on both sides, so sing out, please. Lead your sections. And here we go. Let's see what happens. Between our divisions, I reach out to you. Will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and all of our visions, friends, we could make such sweet harmony. Building bridges between our divisions, I reach out to you. I reach out to you, will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and all of our visions, friends, we could make such sweet harmony.
Words by Reverend Dan Schatz. In these days of reflection, our thoughts turn inward. Who am I? How will I be? How will living further a sacred love? We ask, and we turn, and we ask again. How have my actions, really fumbling this up. How have my actions affected other people? When have I caused pain to another? In what way will I make amends? We ask, and we turn, and we ask again. How shall I live with the discomfort of responsibility? How shall I forgive others? How shall I forgive myself? We ask, and we turn, and we ask again. In the turning and in the asking, we find a deeper truth and a greater love. It is a sacred love, and to this love, once more and again, we turn.
Good morning. I'm the Reverend Julianne Lepp, and I grew up as an Episcopalian and then became a Unitarian, and my ministerial internship was at the Unitarian Universalist congregation in Atlanta, and my supervisor there was a Jewish Unitarian, and so that was my first chance to really understand Judaism, besides what I learned in a Christian seminary of the Jewish tradition. And I grew up in South Carolina and had never met, that I knew of, anyone who at least claimed to be Jewish, and probably wasn't the safest environment necessarily to be Jewish. But what I was most struck by is the high holy days of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, the idea that there is a time in which we can examine our lives and a time to focus on forgiveness of ourselves, forgiveness of others, and coming to terms with what we call sacred. And some people call that God, some people call that many things. And that when the book closes for the year, it's a new time. It's a time to let go of those grudges, those heavy things that we carry. And I think sometimes it's easy to say, well, just forgive somebody. But as we know, forgiveness is one of the hardest things that we can do, especially of ourselves. To forgive ourselves for yelling at our children or someone that we love, to forgive ourselves for maybe making a mistake that hurt somebody or hurt ourselves. Rabbi Daniel Fetter says, Judaism, through these days of repentance and renewal, recognizes that it is human to fail. And fail is a hard word, too. We always want to say, make it prettier, well, I made an oopsie. I made a mistake. And, why is it so hard to recognize that sometimes we fall short? And I think it's that sense of shame, that sense that we have to be perfect or perform at some kind of level. And I know I've spent a lot of my adult life trying to unwind from those feelings of having to be a certain way, to perform at a certain level, and all those words of, I am not enough, I am not doing enough or being enough. And it can weigh you down in a way that just makes you bend, just like holding a grudge or holding anger. And so during these days of focus on letting go with the fallen leaves, maybe there's something to which you're holding on to, some sort of hurt or anger or something that you have not forgiven yourself for. And there's a song that Rob Eller Isaacs, who's a minister at the Unitarian Universalist congregation in St. Paul, he died recently, and he would sing. He wrote this, and it was based on the Jewish tradition. And it's, we forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love. We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love. I'm trying to remember this is part of that. We forgive ourselves and each other, and we begin again in love. And what a powerful thing to say to yourself, that it's okay that you made a mistake. It's okay that maybe you didn't make that perfect score or that perfect rim shot in the basketball game with your buddies. When I was a little girl, I stole something. I was at the St. Jude's kindergarten class, and there was a train toy box, and there was a little people that I did not have. So I took that little people, and I put it in my pocket, and I was the minister's kid. And I took it home. And I hid it at the very bottom of my toy box. And little Julie Libby, you can bet, I would pull it out and look at it at night, and then I would hide it again. And one of my friends noticed that her favorite people was missing. And did I say anything? No. But when it was time to clean my room, my mom didn't notice, but I had felt the guilt all week long. And I finally confessed that I had taken the people from my St. Jude's kindergarten room. And she said, Julie, you know what you need to do. I said, I get to keep it? No, you need to go apologize and give it back. And, obviously this made an impression on me because I was 5 years old, and I remember just going to my teacher, I don't remember her name, but just cried, and I told my best friend that I had taken the thing, and it was such a, but man, did I sleep better. And while I didn't have that item that I had coveted, I felt a relief. I felt a chance to come right with my little world. And that's such a microcosm. And then, this summer, I went to South Carolina and reconnected with a stepsister who I've really regretted getting distant from. We have led different lives, we have pretty different beliefs, but we had this commonality of growing up together. And I called her up and I said, I regret that after my mom died that we grew apart. And I regret that, I don't know your children. And she said, that's okay. I had a part in that too. And so we had a chance to kind of make amends. And we met up. It was just for a couple of hours in a restaurant, and I got to see my stepdad and my stepbrother, and we ate little burrito bowls. And my son Aaron came. She had not seen him since he was a little guy. And it was a sense of grace, a sense of forgiveness. And I think, having sat with people at the end of their life and having sat with people who have hard diagnoses, one of the things I always ask is there something that you need to do? Is there someone that you need to call? And it just makes an impression on me that I don't want it to be the end of my life when I have a load of regrets. And there are still some things that I'm not ready to forgive. Some traumas, some hurts that aren't forgivable. At least not yet. And I think that's okay. I think that's really one thing to say is that, some people experience abuse or unhealthy things, and we just don't blindly forgive and go back, right? But in a world where we know that we're imperfect, it gives us permission to make mistakes, take risks, live life. And so during these days of focus on letting go and maybe coming out of the world of that we've been in since the pandemic, being gentle with yourself. And maybe think about, what is it that you're doing now in this new time? We forgive ourselves and each other, and we begin again in love. Thank you.
We know that our financial contributions to this congregation come from sacrifice and hard work. We are so grateful for this and commit together to ensure the funds we gather collectively do a greater good for ourselves and our world than they could have done alone. The 50/50 Share the Plate recipient for October is Roundtable Revival. On-site greeters will pass baskets. Please indicate on your giving envelope if the donation is for 50/50 pledge or some other fund. Online donations, scan the code to donate, made at uueauclair.com, or text to give 84321. May there be an offering to sustain and grow the life and mission of this congregation. May we give in love and in hope. Please say with me the words printed in your order of service. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
This reading is by Reverend Victoria Saffor, and it's called At One. Imagine this. On the days between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, every fall, every year, the people make their peace with anyone they have wronged or slighted or injured or in any way neglected in the past 12 months. The task is not to patch things up, smooth things over, reach a compromise, or sweep mistakes and uneasy memories under the rug. The task is not to feel better. The task is ownership. The goal is truth for its own redemptive sake. I did this, I said this to you, and it was wrong. I neglected this, I botched this, I betrayed you thusly. I demeaned you, whether you ever knew it or not. This is the truth in which both of us are living. I ask you to forgive me. Imagine how many deep breaths you would need to take. Imagine how many doors you'd have to knock on, how many phone calls you'd have to make, how many letters, how many lunches and coffees, how many awkward moments with your children and your parents and with strangers. That cashier to whom you spoke so sharply. Awkward is irrelevant. The task is not about comfort. It is about truth, about wholeness and holiness, restoration. Imagine this. Someone has been preparing all year to speak with you, to write to you, to ask you a hard question. Perhaps in some way, not quite conscious, you have even known this. And you have been preparing too. Finally, you answer the door or the phone or open the letter with shaky hands. And there it is, what you thought you'd been longing for, but really have dreaded. Someone is asking your forgiveness. The task is not about comfort. It is about truth. Awkward is irrelevant. You get to choose now. You have to choose whether and how you will participate in restoration. Abandon the pleasant piety that claims knee-jerk forgiveness as the unquestioned moral course. You get to choose which way will be right in this case, between you as persons and with all your gods. What response will make the world more whole? Imagine something yearns in us to come round right. Something creaking, rusty, heavy, almost calcified within us tries, in spite of us and of all our fears and self-deceptions, to turn and creak and turn again and come around a little truer. Something in us stretches toward conversion. Imagine healing wholly from within. The source of that is walking toward morning. Now I get to tell you my reflection. Actually, I had forgotten that I was going to be reading that. And just the other day I was thinking, what am I going to speak about on courage and forgiveness and Yom Kippur? And in my mind I heard, 'tis the gift to be simple, 'tis the gift to be free. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend we shan't be ashamed. To turn will be our delight, till by turning we come round right. That is by Joseph Beckett. It's a Shaker principle, the Shaker principles of simplicity and humility, and it ties in to being a Jewish UU, which I am. I think that's why I love UU, Unitarian Universalism, is because we embrace all of the wisdom from all of the world's religions. Yom Kippur is a very, very solemn occasion. It is the most important holiday of the year, and this year it fell on October 4th. One way that I kind of explain it to my son, though we're not really practicing Yom Kippur, he's 7, and there's fasting involved, and that is just not good for any of us. Is that Yom Kippur is the I'm sorry day. So saying sorry and doing better, you're setting yourself up for the new year where you're atoning for wrongdoings to others, to yourself, and then you're starting out fresh. You're starting a new chapter in the book, or maybe you're even starting a new book entirely. There's a hymn that I guess we're going to sing later, right? Is it 1020? Did we already sing that one? Sorry, now I'm lost. Did we sing 1020? Yeah, I guess we did. Pardon? We will. Okay. It's not on my piece of paper here, but that next hymn speaks to the difficulty of forgiveness and atonement when journeying to heaven. And that piece of it kind of speaks to my struggle in finding my spiritual home. And I grew up Roman Catholic, and it was always told to me that you atone because you want to get to heaven, and that was never good enough for me. That's a very egocentric way of looking at things, I think. I wasn't brought up that way. And I'm not criticizing Christians or Roman Catholics, but in Judaism, why Judaism spoke to me, because it's all about doing the right thing. Atoning and forgiving brings balance back to life. It connects people at a deeper level. So when I was in my 20s, after my mom passed away, I then converted to Judaism. And that's the important piece, because when my mom was around, I felt like I didn't want to disappoint her. And I felt I couldn't find my spiritual home because she wanted me to acknowledge my upbringing. And that's one of those things that I had to forgive myself for. I don't think she's disappointed at all, but I did for a really long time. As Reverend Victoria Saffor wrote in the piece that I just read, I'm going to paraphrase it a little bit to speak on it. The task is not to feel better. The task is ownership. Truth, wholeness, holiness, restoration. So for me, the story I told about, not pursuing my search for my spiritual home, I realized that it's really about me. That forgiveness piece is you need to make sure that all is right with you before you can make sure all is right with others. She also says, abandon knee-jerk forgiveness. You get to choose which way will be right between you as a person. What response will make the world more whole? I tell my children and the children that I teach not to be so quick to forgive. And I don't mean, don't forgive people. I mean, don't forgive in a dismissive way. Be thoughtful about it. Don't shrug it off. Like Reverend Julie was saying, there are still some things that she's still working on. I could bet everybody has something that they're still working on too. I certainly do. I suggest to my kiddos, thank the offender for their apology. Appreciate the effort. You don't have to accept the apology right away. You don't even have to accept it
ever. But then you have to look at yourself and think, it's my choice to forgive them or not. How is that going to make me feel? How is that going to make them feel? Help them recognize that their words and actions matter, the offender. Then let it go when you're ready, which is absolutely easier said than done. I had an interesting situation happen this summer. I was studying in Michigan for my second master's, and it was a really intense 6 weeks. And I had a roommate for about a week and a half. And she had some difficulty. I knew that she had some mental health issues going into it. We talked openly about, how I could support her, how she could support herself. And things got a little too intense for her. And she accused me of doing something that I didn't. And then police got involved. And my university, I got them involved and said, we need to not be on projects together. And then her world kind of came crumbling down. And she decided to leave the program. But before she left, she asked my forgiveness. So, of course, like I preach, her first time she asked, I said, thank you so much for apologizing. I do appreciate your apology. And she asked again moments later. I was like, that was hard for you. Thank you. But I didn't give my forgiveness. She really needed it, apparently. So later that day, she had told the administrators that she had apologized, and strangely, I thought, the administrators were like, okay, so we're good, right? Like, no. The allegations were really serious. She thought that I was trying to hurt her, and I said, no, we really need to have really clear boundaries and not work together. And then about 10 minutes after that, that's when she really decided, okay, she's done. And I don't know if my reaction had anything to do with that, but she asked for my forgiveness one last time. She said she was flying home, and I gave it, which surprised myself, actually. But I gave it. I said, you know what? I do forgive you. I wish you well. I hope that you figure out what's going on with you. I want only good things for you. I'm so sorry. I have to go to clinical now. Best wishes. And that's the last time I spoke to her, last time I saw her. And afterwards, I felt guilty a little bit. I don't know if she needed more than just that. But now it's 3 months later, and I actually feel really good, at peace about it. She hasn't tried to reach out to me. Nobody has heard from her. Hopefully she's doing well. I hope that peace, I've been able to create some rightness with the world because I let it go. Yeah, it was serious allegations. Nothing legal ever happened of it. People thought poorly of me. The landlords where we were renting, they had believed her, and they apologized. I mean, she covered her bases, which I really appreciate. I think she and I both, although we didn't communicate extensively on it, we were able to make right with the world. And that's what Yom Kippur is about. It's not about moving on. We're never going to have a relationship, she and I. And that's okay. It's not about that. It's not about making things all nice and tidy and, okay, we can move on and act as if nothing has happened. It's about making right, making it clear, settle it, and then moving forward to just try to be better next time. gist of it. Thank you for listening. Now, if you'll please rise in body or spirit, and we're going to sing number 1020, Boyaya. I was just in such a peaceful space right there. I forgot I needed to extinguish the chalice. So in your order of service, in unison, we'll say the words by Elizabeth Selly Jones. Hold on, let me get ready. Okay. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Our closing words today are by Wayne B. Arneson. Take courage, friends. The way is often hard, the path is never clear, and the stakes are very high. Take courage, for deep down there is another truth. You are not alone.
Okay, we are now done streaming to Facebook, and now's the time. And